FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
All right, welcome back into the Marc Cox Show. And as I mentioned a minute ago, the hacking cases that have been raised recently, the DNC is the one that comes to mind directly, where just the other day Guccifer released a file that contained the home email addresses and home mailing addresses and cell phone numbers of every Democrat in Congress. Now, you know that wasn't on an unsecure server, so it just proves how gifted these people are. And now they're talking about online voting systems. And Eric Shawn from Fox News Channel is joining us right now. He's got a story on this today. Eric, how are you?
Hey, Mark, good to be with you.
Absolutely. So I had no idea that there were 30 states in this country that were already either allowing or capable of allowing some form of online voting?
Yeah, there are. 26 with Washington, D.C. allow online voting. There's several different systems. Directly online voting, all voters in Alaska, for example, just go online and click of a mouse. You can sit in your basement at home and vote. Other states, like Washington, do it by email. Missouri allows online only for military voters in a hostile zone. You can also go online in Missouri, of course, and register online, as you can do in a lot of other states.
Right.
But it seems they're rolling out the potential for the future of just voting online. And some experts, like at MIT and other places, are saying, uh-oh, it ain't secure.
No, not at all. I mean, how can they even start to think that it's foolproof?
Well, the officials we talked to, for example, in the District of Columbia, they've been doing it by email for military members and other residents who are overseas through email. They say they haven't had a problem, as far as they know. However, a few years ago, they had a test, and they said, we're going to have a test system where see if someone can hack it. They actually gave that challenge out there for someone to hack the system.
Yeah.
And guess what happened?
It got hacked.
Yep, Professor. He put the Michigan fight song up. So when you went to vote and pushed the button, the Michigan fight song would play. They changed the votes to write-ins for robots that they made from movies like HAL, from 2001: Space Odyssey. So
well,
you can't make this up.
But more so than even hacking, I would think that it would increase the opportunity for fraud.
Well, that's a good point, because in Washington, D.C., the election officials, even though they are confident it works, they haven't had a problem, they do say there's an issue of privacy with the emails because, you send all the information in over the system. Who knows who could have access to that and able to see all your information and get your Social Security number and everything else that you usually put down.
Wow. So there's no move afoot to make this some sort of nationwide system, is there?
Well, the individual, in our country, it's the boards of elections from states and from counties are in charge of the voting system. So you got a myriad of, tens of thousands of these. So they're studying it, interested in pursuing it, although just the other week, Jay Johnson, the head of Homeland Security, the administration is raising the issue. They think it's in our national interest, they say, that the election process, the election system be protected and designated a critical infrastructure, just like the grid, the power grid, and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so they see that there could be problems if this spreads out.
And as you point out in your story, in Illinois, our neighboring state here, they've already had to shut their system down once because of potential hack.
Yeah, that happened just a few months ago. They said, the officials reportedly said, they called it a highly sophisticated attack, most likely from a foreign entity. So, a foreign entity wants to get the Illinois voter base?
Yeah.
So this obviously raises questions, especially in light of what we've seen with the DNC and Russian hackers potentially and everybody else.
Eric Shawn, I will direct people to foxnews.com to read more about this, or the Fox News Channel. I appreciate your time.
Anytime. Thanks,
Yep,
Mark.
Thank you very much. Wow.